You know, the young people these days, they be using economy picking for some crazy stuff, especially when it's in the hands of my man Spiro Dussias. Yeah, it's a pretty insane shit, right? It's like he's barely moving his hand and playing 8 million notes per second. Now, I'm not quite as young as I used to be when I got out of bed this morning, but you guys know I gotta stay in the cool guy zone, which is why I was inspired to create this economy picking workout to try to help me get my economy picking skills more better. And so can you. Hey there kid, it's your good buddy, Uncle Ben. So I learned how to play guitar with a mixture of alternate picking and legato, like so many of us. But there's a handful of dudes now that are taking economy picking to the next level, and it's utterly insane. Spiro Dussias, that I mentioned earlier in the video there, is a prime example of that. Obviously his economy of motion is insane, and he's playing licks that would be absolutely impossible to do with regular alternate picking. And the reason he's able to do that is because he's gotten so comfortable with keeping the pick really buried into the strings, but still tightly in control. The workout that I came up with today is a 2-string pattern. It's going to help you master those down-to-down economy transitions as well as the up-to-ups in rapid succession. I designed this around speed bursts, that way we can really focus on making those smooth transitions from string to string. I'm going to show you the workout and some of the ways to practice it, but you're going to get even more out of this video if you check out the extended and ad-free cut that's only available over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. People are saying it is a cult. You'll just have to find out. For as little as $1 a month, that's also going to get you access to the downloadable tabs, the practice tracks that I made, and the guitar profile to go along with this lesson, as well as nearly 800 other bonus goodies. So don't delay, sign up today over patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. For today's video, I've chosen a few of my favorite pieces from my stockpile of weapons of musical destruction. This is my Schecter USA Custom Shop KM6, one of the raddest guitars I have ever played. And I'm playing that into a Suhr KoKo boost for a little bit of additional mid-range in front of my Marshall JMP module. Now you know, we ain't got time to dilly-dally in this economy, so let's get into it. First things first, let's hear that Bad Larry again at stepdad speed. This is all going to be played on the D and G strings, and it's based on the E minor scale. First part of this is going to be based around this segment of the E minor scale. And we're going to play up it like this. So it's like a 4-note burst here. We're going to play that 2 times in a row. We're going to move up to the next segment of the E minor scale here, starting off on the F sharp note. It's going to look like this. And we're going to play that same phrasing concept. We're going to go to the G starting note, which is going to look like this fragment. Same phrasing idea. The A segment of the scale is going to look like this. And the phrasing will sound like this. Going up to B now. Up to C. D. And then we're going to be back an octave above where we started at E. Now, you got to follow the picking here really closely if you want maximum results, which I know you do. So be sure that you're playing all of these by going down, up, down, down. Notice the double downstroke there at the end. That's imperative. Down, up, down, down. The next fragment is going to go up, down, up, up. Up, down, up, up. So always finishing with that double upstroke. Down, up, down, down, up, down, up, up. Down, up, down, down, up, down, up, up. Getting used to that sensation of using the same pick stroke across two strings, like down, down, or up, up, is imperative for mastering this economy picking stuff and getting the most speed out of it. Because really, if you think about it, you can go double down or double up faster than you would ever need to, right? Like that right there. That is insanely fast if I was to really master that and get it in tempo. Anybody can go faster than they need to with double ups or double downs. In fact, we're so good at it that it can get away from you very easily and get out of tempo, right? So be sure to practice these at lower speeds, like what I was demonstrating. You got to get used to controlling that at a moderate pace like that. That's where the practice tracks, guitar profiles, all that stuff is really going to come in handy. Grab all those goodies on the Patreon page. But you could also practice this with your good old metronome and get the speed under control. Don't do it too fast at first. This is absolutely imperative. You won't really be able to control it. Whenever you're practicing the economy picking at the lower speeds like that, try to use a technique I call pick parking. Here's what I mean. Rather than going down, up, down, and just kind of letting your pick stroke hang here for a second before you do the next downstroke, it might look like this. Down, up, down, down. What I want you to try to do here is to push that last downstroke on the D string in this case, down, up, down, far enough to where the pick just parks on top of the G. You see that motion right there? Down, up, down. See, I'm parking on the next string until it's time to push the pick through and sound that note out. If we put it on the guitar, it'll look like this. And you'll do the opposite with the double upstroke. You can see how I just parked that upstroke against the D string until it was time to push it through and sound out the next note. As you speed this up and get it under your mitts, you'll probably notice the parking sensation will fade away. You'll reach a certain tempo where it just feels like a fluid motion, but a great way to build up control over that motion is with that pick parking technique. Now, here's the thing about this economy picking workout that's going to be the hardest habit to break for a lot of us. I know it is for me. Now, whenever we learn how to pick on the guitar, we build up this instinct to escape after we sound a note out. In other words, you might find your pick strokes looking kind of like this. You see how after I sounded that note, the pick was like, run away, just tried to get away from the strings? Whenever you do that, you're leaving the plane of the strings. In other words, the straight line of the string path right there. And that is not what you need if you want to master economy picking. You have to get used to staying within the path of the strings. This is really essential. You can see that in Spiro's right hand. There's none of that leaping motion that we associate with leaving the string path. It looks like it's just going straight up and down like this, because it is. He's gotten really comfortable with staying inside of the path of the strings and not trying to escape and run away like a lot of us do. Watch this picking motion closely and compare it to how it might look if I was escaping out of the strings. You can see how there's none of that leaping out of the strings. A lot of times I see that motion happening when people are trying to get the economy picking thing down. It's still leaving the path of the strings, like we do with a lot of alternate picking technique, whether that's intentional or not. But you just got to get used to never leaving the strings. Try to think about keeping your hand nice and flat with the tip of the pick buried in the strings at all times. You should always be able to look down here at the right hand and see that the tip of the pick, and I don't mean the whole pick sticking out or anything, I mean just the very tip of the pick is always in the strings. Staying in the string path is a really hard habit to break, but the sooner that you get used to it, the sooner you can start doing some crazy economy picking stuff. So just be sure as you practice this exercise that you always keep that pick buried in the string path. Try adding in some palm muting to this workout too. It's got to make the string a little bit less wiggly as you're trying to hit it. That palm muting just helps control the vibration of the string. It makes it an easier target, in other words, than practicing with a fully open style. The strings just overall behave a little bit nicer if you're muting them a little bit. Plus it gives it that nice punchy tone. Now here's another thing to think about when it comes to the picking here. So you guys know I'm a Troy Grady Cracking the Code devotee. I'm always talking about the pick slanting business, down slant, up slant, yada yada. Well, think about it this way. The slanting stuff is all because we have to escape the strings at some point to travel to the next string that we're playing, right? That's where all the pick slanting stuff comes in handy, is because it's about getting to the next string. Well, with this workout, we're never leaving the string path. So it doesn't necessarily have to be downwards pick slanting, upwards pick slanting, whatever. It can just kind of be neutral if you think about it, and that's very much how it looks like Spiro is doing with his picking. It doesn't look like he has any kind of extreme tilt to the pick either way. His picking looks quite flat, and if you're never leaving the string path, you can do it that way. By introducing a little angling onto the pick, I guess it does kind of make that paintbrushing effect a little bit easier. I'm talking about the pick paintbrush idea I've talked about in the past, where, you know, if the pick was a paintbrush, it'd go down the wall easier if it had this angle on it. It'd go up the wall easier if it had this angle on it. It might look like something like this if I introduced some more drastic pick angling onto here. And I guess it does feel a little bit more smoothlier when I'm going across the strings, but it's not really necessary, and it can kind of generate some noise as you're flip-flopping that hand across the strings. So I'm trying to practice this with a little bit more neutral picking angle. And so can you. Now get that workout ripping, and I'll see you in the cool guy zone. So there you go, guys, a hot new economy picking workout that's gonna get you chicks in no time. And by chicks, I mean other dudes on your Instagram page asking you how you learned how to do that. You'll get even more out of this workout if you check out the extended and ad-free cut that's only available over on the Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. That's also where you're gonna grab the guitar profiles, the practice tracks, the downloadable tabs, and hundreds upon hundreds of exclusive goodies that are waiting for you right there, even for as little as $1 a month. So sign up today, and I'll see you there. All the cool kids are doing it. Thanks so much for watching the video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications every time I upload a new slice of fried gold. And as you go through your week, keep a good thought. Be good to each other out there. The world's a crazy place, and it's up to us to make it a better, kinder, gentler place to be, one act of kindness at a time. Now, grab that rock guitar, start mashing some rope. Less clicking, more picking.